Hola Español dos, and welcome to our first vocabulary video of the year. This is el vocabulario de Leccion Preliminar, de Avancemos dos, página 29. This will be our first vocabulary video, so I'm first going to, on these videos, address las metas, our goals. For this particular video, we will be reviewing some of the things you learned in Spanish 1. So I want to know, do you know how to identify and describe people? Can you talk about likes and dislikes? Can you say where you and your friends go? Can you describe how you and others feel? And can you talk about what you and your friends like to do? So this is a review of some of the concepts we did in 1, so it's a little bit of a refresher. So as I go through, feel free to pause, repeat as necessary. I will go through and I will have a picture of each vocabulary word from page 29. Our first goal was to identificar y describir personas, to identify and describe people. El director de la escuela, or if I have a female principal, la directora de la escuela. El hombre significa man. El maestro significa male teacher. La maestra significa female teacher. La mujer significa woman. Alto, alta, significa tall. Bajo, baja, significa short. Pelirrojo, pelirroja, significa redhead. Rubio, rubia, significa blonde. Remember, all our adjectives must agree with the gender of the person. So here I would say, ella es rubia. Artístico, artística, significa artistic. In this case, I would say, el hombre es artístico. Atlético, atlética, significa athletic. Bonito, bonita, significa pretty, or in this case, handsome. I often, if somebody's really handsome, I like to use guapo. It's more good looking. Bonito, bonita tends to be like cute or pretty. Cómico, cómica, significa funny. Another one that, if you travel to Argentina, they're not going to use cómico, cómica so much. They might say gracioso, graciosa. So careful, this has nothing to do with gracias and has anything to do with thanks. It's a word to say funny. Desorganizado, desorganizada, significa messy or disorganized. Estudioso, estudiosa, significa studious. Organizado, organizada, significa organized or neat. Perezoso, perezosa, significa lazy. Serio, seria, significa serious. Simpático, simpática, significa nice. Trabajador, trabajadora, significa hardworking. Ahora vamos a decir a dónde vas. Now we're going to learn how to say where you're going. La biblioteca significa library. El café significa cafe or coffee shop. La cafetería significa cafeteria. La casa del amigo significa my friend's house or the house of a friend. Remember, in Spanish we can't do that apostrophe S that we see here that we use frequently in English. In Spanish, the way we do that is del or de la. In this case, since I'm talking about amigo, I'd say la casa del, so the house of my friend. If I wanted to say a friend that's a girl, la casa de la amiga or mi amiga. El centro. El centro significa center, like the city center, or it can mean downtown as well. El centro comercial. This is a shopping mall. El cine significa movie theater. La clase significa class or classroom. El concierto significa concert. La escuela significa school. Y el estadio significa stadium. La fiesta significa party. El gimnasio significa gym or gymnasium. El parque significa park. The next few are different types of games. So if I'm going to a basketball game, remember I'm saying the game of whatever sport. So el partido de basquetbol, el partido de béisbol, el partido de fútbol. Those of you who are American football people, we would say el partido de fútbol americano. La piscina, el restaurante. El teatro significa theater. This would be like the Fox Theater in St. Louis. Y la tienda significa store. So this would be an individual store within el centro comercial, the mall, or it could be a standalone store in the community. Ahora vamos a describir los sentimientos. We're going to go over all those words to describe how you and others are feeling. Estar. Remember, estar is one of our forms of to be. So this one, since we're talking about states of being, things that change, remember this is our temporary one. So one day you might be feeling great, the next day you might feel sick, or you might be really excited about something. So that's why we use estar. How you feel, where you are, always use the verb estar. So we use this one with our sentimientos, our feelings. Alegre o feliz, as another way to say this, significa happy. Bien significa good or fine or well. Cansado, cansada, significa tired. Contento, contenta. This is another way to say happy. It's more like content, feeling good. Deprimido, deprimida, significa depressed or down in the dumps. Emocionado, emocionada. Careful with this one. A lot of people see that emoción and think emotional, something that's like emotional wreck. This is excited. You're full of emotion. Enfermo, enferma, significa sick or ill. Enojado, enojada, significa angry. Mal, significa bad. Now sometimes people might say, estoy mal, like I just am feeling bad today. So it's not necessarily that's a bad person. They might use this instead of enfermo. You're not full-blown sick, but just not feeling good. You're feeling kind of bad. Más o menos significa so-so. Nervioso, nerviosa, significa nervous. Ocupado, ocupada, significa busy. Think of you're occupied. I have this, and this to do. So you're occupied, busy. Regular. Regular, obviamente, is regular. You're just having a regular day. This is like how we would say, I'm all right. So it's another way to say that más o menos. Regular, I'm all right. Tranquilo, tranquila, significa calm. Think of tranquil, tranquility, calm, relaxed. Triste, triste significa sad. Tener. We're moving on to another verb. Tener often means to have. However, remember that we had some tener expressions. So it's literally, I have hunger. We wouldn't say that in English. We would say, I am hungry. In Espanol, you have to use tener with certain states of being. Por ejemplo, if you are hot because of the heat outside, you're going to say, tengo calor. So I am hot. Remember, it's literally, I have heat. Sounds kind of weird in English. Frío. Frío. So I'm saying, tengo frío. I'm cold. Tengo hambre. Significa I'm hungry. Miedo. Tener miedo is to be scared. Tener razón significa to be correct or to be right. Tener sed is to be thirsty. Ahora vamos a hablar de unas actividades. Almorzar significa to eat lunch. Beber refrescos significa to drink soda or any type of refreshment. Escribir correos significa to write emails. Escuchar música significa to listen to music. Estudiar significa to study. Ir de compras significa to go shopping. Jugar al fútbol significa to play soccer. Leer un libro significa to read a book. Mirar la televisión significa to watch TV. Pasar un rato con amigos significa to spend time with friends. Practicar deportes significa to practice sports. Ahora vamos a terminar con la comida. We'll finish this up. Lots of vocab here, but remember, much of this is review. We'll finish it up with a favorite, food. El almuerzo significa lunch. La carne significa meat. La cena significa dinner. La comida significa food. Sometimes people say, oh, vamos a comer la comida. They might be referring to lunch, but this is the general word for food as well. It depends on what country you're in. El desayuno. El desayuno significa breakfast. La ensalada significa salad. Los frijoles significa beans. La fruta significa fruit, the general category. La hamburguesa significa hamburger. La manzana significa apple. La naranja significa orange. Careful with this one. In English, we say orange for the color, orange for the fruit. Naranja, the one that starts with the letter N, is referring to the fruit. If I say anaranjado, I'm referring to the color. Es la diferencia. El pescado. El pescado, when I'm using this form, I'm referring to, pobrecito, the cooked fish, the one that we eat. If I'm fishing and it's still alive, or if I have a pet fish, it's el pez, P-E-Z. El pollo. Perdón, el pollo significa chicken. El postre significa dessert. El sándwich significa sandwich. Y finalmente, las verduras significa vegetables. Es todo para hoy. Muchas gracias por ver. Adiós.